Our reading this morning comes from Julian Jamaica Soto. This is Taraxacum. Even though they are edible, someone decided that dandelions are weeds, stragglers to destroy, to uproot. But dandelions never got the memo, never thought to care. Busy instead with dropping roots, flinging seeds, unfurling shoots, and persistent in that digging, in that taproots to depths of 2 or 3 average adults end to end, the tiny yellow flower survives. You are no less resilient, reaching both down to the strength that holds you and up to the light and out with your beauty. And you know, having sunk your effort into the cool, damp earth, that while dandelions can be clipped and fought, uninvested in anyone's opinion, they throw their sparkling futures onto the wind, tomorrow tucked into seeds, and grow all the way back, strong and bowing at the very same time. Joanna Macy's name, specifically along with the work that reconnects, is one I've heard for years among some of my colleagues. She was an author and teacher, a scholar of Buddhism, systems thinking, and deep ecology. She was also a translator, and someday I might share some of her translations from the Austrian poet and novelist Rainer Maria Rilke. Good translators are a particular joy for me, having trained as one myself. Macy passed this last year, along with a number of other greats, and given the challenges we are facing increasingly, I decided to dive into her co-authored book, Active Hope: How to Face the Mess We're In with Unexpected Resilience and Creative Power, written with resilience specialist Chris Johnstone, a doctor, mental health specialist, and author. After reading Active Hope, which I highly recommend, I imagine that all of Macy's work is equally helpful and powerful. I chose Active Hope over her other works because, gosh, if there was a title for these times, it was that. Drawing from their individual work and their collaborations, Macy and Johnstone have experimented and refined tools that they've developed, taught, and practiced with thousands of people around the world. I don't know if there's anyone who doesn't feel overwhelmed these days, and that feeling of overwhelm makes it easy for us to freeze. We just look around and it's all so bad and so hard and so cruel and so much, and where can we even begin? One person acting against the so muchness of the world is never going to achieve the change we'd like to see. And usually at this point, we just shut down. The overwhelm is too great and we don't see a way forward, so we just stop. Let's now take a deep breath or two, if that's a comfortable thing for you. Try to release some of the tension in your body if you can, and that is a safe thing to do. I was at the hospital once doing chaplaincy, and a colleague did Reiki on me. I had an hour-long drive home, and the Reiki was so effective, I kept falling asleep on the way home and told him, we will never do that again. So sometimes the tension is good, but release what we can. One of my practices that I remind myself of not infrequently is relaxing my jaw muscles. You want to sway back and forth in your seat for a moment. practices are just some of the ways that we can make a little spaciousness within and help us open to the present moment, to what we need, and to attune to others. We'll be doing some more practices later this month, tools that hopefully anyone can use to help us all feel more grounded and reconnected with ourselves and the world. As a person who has experienced trauma, who had experienced trauma for years, unlearning what trauma taught me and releasing it from my body as best I could, along with learning trauma-informed care practices, have all been important to me, and we'll explore some of that together in a few weeks. In the meantime, I wanted to start with Macy and John Stone's active hope practice, which is cyclical and can be done by most anyone and can be used however you're coming to it, whether you're just feeling stuck or feeling overwhelmed or something else. The starting point of this work is the idea that we are in a time that Macy, John Stone, and others call the Great Turning. Like other periods of when human life and society have been drastically impacted by some change, this one too, we hope, will take its place in the list. The Great Turning calls for a transition or transformation of our lives from, let's just call it, the wildly wasteful, plastic-filled, harmful society we live in today to one that is ecologically sustainable and in right relationship with the living earth and its creatures. There are 3 dimensions to the Great Turning. They are holding actions, life-sustaining systems and practices, and shift in consciousness. Holding actions are meant to slow down the damage being caused. Raising awareness, campaigns, petitions, boycotts, rallies, legal proceedings, direct actions, protecting what we can, saving biodiversity, clean air and water, forests, topsoil, and restoring and safeguarding communities against exploitation, war, starvation, and injustice. Life-sustaining systems and practices are rethinking the way we do things. This is micro and macro, individual, community, and corporate work, reconsidering how we travel, where we shop, what we buy. Macy and John Stone say social enterprises, microenergy projects, community teach-ins, sustainable agriculture, and ethical financial systems all contribute to the rich patchwork quilt of a life-sustaining society. And the shift in consciousness, motivated or inspired by caring and compassion for ourselves and the world around us, that feeling of belonging to the earth makes us want to grow in connection. Being with others, being together helps us not only to feel less alone, but also like we can make a difference. We can rely on one another for support and strength, pep talks, accountability, and more. We need all 3 of these strands to make a braid that will hold us and the work tight. So from that foundation onto active hope. There are a few parts to this practice. The first is gratitude, like the reflection that Joyce offered to us. Coming to gratitude. We did some gratitude practices back in November together, but this is more than that, deeper maybe. It connects gratitude with how we live and move in the world. Practicing gratitude as part of how we think of and experience life is a key to resilience. Beginning with gratitude helps us center ourselves and to open our hearts. Moving from that grounding in gratitude onto lament, honoring our pain for the world. Witnessing how the world and our neighbors hurt is important to do because it not only connects us empathetically with others, but also can inspire us to act differently with energy and determination. We don't judge the way we're feeling, just feeling and noticing it, naming it to let go of some of its power. There are so many things that may be hurting our hearts right now in the wider world and within our own daily lives. In this part of the exercise, it's best for us to just name whatever is present. Moving on from that grounding and growing, we've got refresh, starting with new eyes. In this component, there are what Macy and Johnstone call the 4 discoveries. A wider sense of self, a different kind of power, a richer experience of community, and a larger view of time. These help us to remember or learn for the first time how we are connected with others and the world more deeply than we are taught, opening up our ideas of the ways we have and can exert power by moving from a power over to a power with model. By being and doing with others, we experience community, improving our sense of belonging in the world and being supported by it. And last, using our imaginations and knowledge to expand our sense of time, thinking not only of our ancestors, but extending far into the future as a way to be mindful of our duties and responsibilities to those who will follow us. And last, returning to the world and to the work, going forth. This is when we have been inspired and know what contribution we can make to the world. It might feel too small or might seem like it will have too little of an impact. The point is that we try anyway. You know how in time travel there's only one rule? Not to do anything that will change what's happening, right? And yet we think that what we offer will always be too small to make a difference. But who knows? We should at least try and keep trying. That's how we learn and grow and make some change, even if it's just in ourselves, because that matters too. Although this is a circle that can be completed once through, it is meant to be a spiral. A practice that is repeated again and again. Once we've done it a few times, not only will it take less time to think through, but we may feel more connected and ready to move forward with each turning. Dory Midnight painted a representation of the spiral. It's a dandelion whose deep roots are where we remember and hold gratitude. Even when the upper part of the plant is cut or pulled or ripped away, that gratitude remains deep in the ground, ready to grow a new life. Its sturdy stem is where we can honor our pain for the world. It is from the stem that the plant and flower we know grows. The flower, that tiny yellow blossom, is where we start again. Bless you. Seeing with new eyes. We take in the world and we look out and see potential. And the flower, that becomes the sphere of tiny white seeds. That's where we send our wishes into the world. The wishes that dream, yes, but also the wishes that we are ready to work to bring to life. So, we are going to do a trial subscription of Active Hope right now together. And so for those of us who are in the building, just speak aloud for as long as you need to. And for those on Zoom, you can use chat or you can unmute if you would like to. What are some of the things that you are giving thanks for right now? What is the gratitude that you are holding on to?
Vultures that are soaring here. I have what I call the vision. They are Help the dandelion bird.
This congregation friends. The fight, people that are shy.
Compassion of others.
Opportunity to protest.
And now, what are some of the hardships, the challenges, the difficulties, the hurts, the aches that you are experiencing or witnessing in the world?
Injustice, political frustration, need for
Lapse of morality.
loss of truth.
Other people's bad behavior.
There's a lot.
The pain and suffering of people who are under that injustice.
So given these things, that gratitude that is keeping you feeling held, and the pain that we have in the world, are you feeling drawn in any way? Are you feeling a tug on your person, on your heart, on your mind to move in any direction? Maybe you're thinking about an organization or thinking about working to build something in this congregation, or maybe it's taking some more time to care for yourself or your family, however you might define that. Last, what is something that you can do to carry that division, that call forward? How can you release it into the world like dandelion seeds and perhaps take root? Or maybe turns out you're just trying something new, even if it doesn't lead to anything. Sometimes we let go of seeds and they just feed the birds. And that is okay too. What does your grieving, aching, angry, fill in the blank heart need right now? And think for a moment about what we have to offer each other too. Let's start there. If you would please rise and lift your voice in song with me for our closing hymn, When I Am Frightened.